Hello, Latonia School District educators. I wanted to spend a few minutes just putting this video together as I was getting a lot of inquiries about the writing component of NWEA maps. Now, we do not have a way to upload writing scores into our Exact Path program. However, there are several resources embedded in Exact Path that we want to ensure that you can use for your students to support them in their journey with writing skills. And so I'm just going to walk you through the steps and how you can go about designing learning paths for the ELA portion of Exact Path. And then as a reminder, when we think about Exact Path learning paths, one thing you need to remember is this curriculum is adaptable. So if you start students on grade level with the skills of ELA, if a student is struggling with any particular skill, then we're going to continue to provide them with building block topics, which is that skill at a lower grade level. And then we will continue to do so so that we can close any foundational skill gaps that the student might have in ELA and writing. And so I just want to walk you through a few steps so you can go about assigning your students a learning path in ELA and then accessing any additional resources around writing. I'm going to just start off by sharing my screen. So the first thing you want to do is just log into your account. From here, you're going to click on the Exact Path tab. And so what we want to do is right now you guys have learning paths in reading and math. So our focus is going to be that language arts. If you click on language arts, you will not see this diagnostic test. You will see the NWEA maybe up here with your reading and math, but you do not have access to the diagnostic test for Exact Path. What you will see is your learning path. And so if you click on the knowledge map, once you open up your knowledge map, the goal here is really to assign your learners a learning path. So you're going to click on the classroom that you would like to focus on. So here I have just 3 students in my class. These 2 students currently have learning paths because I've assigned those learning paths. This particular student has no learning path created. And so what you can do as the educator is you can assign your students an on grade level learning path because we do not know where your students are at in language arts. So by assigning that learning path, we're going to have them just start on grade level, and from there the curriculum will adapt based off of the student's performance on those on grade level skills. And so what you need to do is just click this little map here. You're going to get a message that says create a learning path. Now this action is automatically done with the system. We're just creating a learning path on grade level. So one thing you will notice is that if you have students that are all in the same grade, when you create that learning path for that class, all of their learning paths are going to be exactly the same. And once again, that learning path is going to adapt on the, based off of the student's performance. So I'm going to hit continue. It is telling me that the learning path has been created and it's going to refresh. So now you can see that this particular student has now been created a learning path. I can visually see it in the knowledge map if I continue to move down, or I can just look at my current learning activities. Now, you might know your students better than we do. And so if you know you have a student that has a foundational skill gap in a particular skill of ELA, you can make some adjustments to that learning path. You do not have to keep that learning path with on grade level skills. And so what you can do, you can either do this in the current learning activities, or you can do this in the knowledge map. But all you're going to do is you're going to simply click on that student. It's going to pull up your student's individual student card. So right now, we are continuing to focus on that language arts learning path. And if you scroll down, we're going to take a look at the skills that the student has been assigned. So this student is a 4th grader, so the learning path contains 4th grade learning skills in ELA. But I know that this particular student has, a difficult time with some of these skills at a fourth grade level. So right here, you do have an option to edit the learning path at any moment in time. If I click on that, it's going to open up the learning path. And so right now we are looking at speaking and listening, language, and writing. So right now that writing component is what I've been asked a lot about. Right now we have fourth grade task, purpose, and audience. And so maybe I think I need to assign something at a lower grade level. So I might drop that student down to a third grade level in writing, and I know that they are going to need to work on task, purpose, and audience at a third grade level, not at a fourth. Once you make that adjustment to their learning path, I can save the skill placement. Yes, I want to save it. And now I have created a new updated learning path for my student. So then from there, I can populate that information and go back into my student or in my learning path. So I'm going to just hop back into my knowledge map. I'm going to refresh my screen because now I've updated my student's learning path. And from here, it's going to show me now that my student has some third grade content that I want them to work on. So now the learning path is dropped that student down a little bit of a grade level, and they're going to be working on a variety of third grade skills. Sometimes when you have a longer variety of students, so now Pam is starting at a third grade level, not a fourth. So I just wanted to show you how you can create your own learning paths. It does not require NWA MAP RIT scores to create learning paths. And so this would be a way that you can still utilize that language arts component. And as a reminder, the curriculum is adaptable, and you as the educator know your students better than us, so you have the ability to edit that learning path at any time. One last thing I want to show you, you do have access to writing content because I've been getting a lot of questions about writing. If you go to My Classes, from here you go to your content search, and you want to maybe pull some pieces of content together for the writing skills that you're working on in the classroom. So you're going to select the subject of language arts. You're going to go to your fourth grade classroom, and then you want to collect writing skills. Looking at the variety of writing skills, you want to maybe focus on taking notes. Or you can select task, purpose, and audience. You click here. We pull up content that we have available within the system. We have everything from lesson ideas around this subject for fourth grade, all the way up to actual learning path resources. So if you want all your students to work on this particular learning path, you can simply assign here, select a start and due date, select your class, and assign it to all of your learners. I hope this video helped you just getting better ideas of how you can go ahead and assign some content, not only in ELA, but specifically in writing. Please continue to reach out with any follow-up questions that you might have with Exact Path, and I'd love to help and support you along the way. Thank you for your time.